Hello, thanks for coming back. You get another game in to end the day, well, at the end of the workday at least. And we get the white pieces. Alekhines, okay. Don't get to test my white pieces against Alekhines very often because not too many people play it. I don't remember the name of the variation, but I'd like to play this one with the white pieces. Okay. So he has protected the knight. He's pinned my knight. Only get castled. Just simple development here. I think he'll probably develop the knight or the bishop. If he does the bishop, I'm going to take the pawn. Although that lets him take back with the c pawn. Perhaps getting my queen out of the pin. Maybe just simply that, just simply breaking the pin with my by moving the queen. You can come here to attack, but I just bring the queen to b3 with very nice presence. Well, he's got this bishop move too. He can just bring the bishop back to f5. Okay. I didn't want to block my bishop. And I didn't want to go back just to the same square. So this might actually have some nice scope. And if he brings his bishop back, then I've just gained a tempo. So he castles. I might consider bringing the bishop back to b3 and pushing c4. Potentially. Yeah, let's do that. Add some protection to c2 here, just in case the knight wants to mosey on over here. I can kick it. If he comes up here, I can kick it again. So he'll have to go back, or he's going to have to create space for his knight to go back to c7. So I have c4 coming. He probably ought to take the pawn. That would be seems like a move here, but then I get to take back with the knight because the bishop is not pinning it. He develops his knight. To what end? Why is he doing that? Can I just chase this Alekhine knight? And then maybe push d5 also? So I kick, he goes knight b6. I push d5, pawn takes d5. Yeah, that doesn't work immediately, does it? Does not work immediately. Yeah, it does. Oh, yeah, there's a pawn here. Okay, so pawn takes d5, pawn takes d5. That does work. Yeah, let's do this. Let's kick it. d5, pawn takes d5, pawn takes d5, kicking this knight. And from here, it can go here to attack the bishop, or here. But from b4, I just kick it again. And then it's in a really bad way. All the way over here on a6. If I just develop my knight, which seems like a pretty decent idea at this point, I need to get my other minor pieces in the game. If I develop the knight, though, I think that gives him an opportunity to take here. And I have to take back with the pawn. That's not so bad, though, is it? Is that so bad? It leaves the pawn structure symmetrical. But I don't want to keep neglecting my development, so we're going to develop the knight. Neglecting piece development is a good way to lose a chess game. Now you might have this idea. I've tried that many times myself with some success, and it attacks both of these. So you'll have two attackers on this. I can't save the bishop because he'll win a pawn. But it'll be all right. I don't think I'm too worried about the pawn structure here. If I have to double the pawn, he takes in the center. And I think I already established that I have to take back with the now where do I want this bishop? Probably want it on e3. Ouch. That is not a move that I saw. Not a move I saw. But what if I give him well, I have to give him the exchange. What if I take back with the king? It's my best option for tricks. Well, I blocked in my dark square bishop and taken up the square that I wanted for it. But my idea might be to reposition here. Gotten tangled up. So I need to move the queen again. Couldn't move it there before because the bishop was here. So I need to move the queen again, defend this pawn. Think about bishop c2. My arrows will cooperate. I'll have options to block here and here. Of course, he could still just go for this idea as well and take that idea away from me. Oh, I need to strengthen my white line against Alekhines. I just don't face it enough, and that's why I played as black. Because people don't face it enough and they are unfamiliar. Okay, he lifts the queen. So I do the same. And he brings a rook and he's threatening to trade queens. But I'm going to bring my bishop here. Bishop has the back rank already, and so does the knight. So I think that's my best idea. Knight's got that square. Queen currently has that one. The knight has this one. Yep. So that's his plan, and I'm gonna protect this square so that I don't get forced into a queen trade. And his options are g6 or f5. f5 gets met with e takes f, and that immediately resumes the threat and attacks the bishop. So g6 is his most likely response, and then I've got maybe bishop h6, rook e8, knight here. I might want to think about taking the time to anchor this pawn so that this knight has a harder time getting back into the game. I'm giving him something to think about for a minute at least. If he moves the rook off to e8, yeah, I might have ideas of knight here. That gives up this square, though. The queen can come in. And basically force a queen trade. I think I wait and I leave the knight where it's at to keep this at bay. If he comes in with the knight, I can pin it. So he can't do that. This square is double protected, so oh yeah, let's just take a moment and anchor our pawn. Maybe queen f4 is an idea. Keeping an eye on this square so the bishop's got to stay put. I guess the bishop can come back here to protect the mate threat. What I would like is maybe queen over here if he brings the bishop off. Oh, I thought I could pin that. He's attacking the... That's his threat. Can't I just pin that? He can anchor it with a pawn. Okay, so I pin it, he anchors it with a pawn. Then what? Pile up on it again? So my queen's protecting the bishop. I can't leave to go snatch this pawn up. If I take the knight, he takes with the queen, and I'm forced into a queen trade. If I pin the knight, he anchors it in the middle of the board. But you know what? I think this is probably still my best option. The bishop can't get to that square at least. The bishop will stay out of harassing the knight. Okay. Now maybe I do have ideas of knight g5. his knight's pinned at the moment, or he might have ideas of knight f5. I'm gonna go knight g5. The king is the only defender of those two pawns right now. It might be worth it to sack a knight for activity. There's no like defenders around the king. If he takes this knight and trades off this bishop, I'm happy. Very, very happy. Dark square weaknesses. So he can have it. If he does something like silly, like kick it, then I'm going to take the h7 pawn, maybe. Brings the bishop back. I might have queen h4. I could sacrifice the bishop. He's not going to move that knight as long as the queen's behind it. So what are his ideas? He might be in trouble here. What are his ideas? Just get the bishop, the queen out from behind the knight. Attack this pawn. No, then I'm going to go queen h4. Threatening bishop f8 and queen h7 mate. Queen c7, queen h4. Knight takes bishop. Bishop f8. Ooh. Okay, rook takes rook is met by knight takes rook. And not king e2, because queen takes pawn will be check. Okay, what about queen? Queen here, queen h4, and then queen takes pawn. Queen h4, queen takes pawn. Bishop f8. And if bishop f8, queen takes is mate, but if king takes f8, queen takes, bishop f8, king takes f8, queen h6 is met by queen g7, so maybe knight takes h7 check, and king g7. That might be problems for me. So the queen's defending the pawn right now. Why not attack the queen? He brings the queen to a light square. Maybe attacking my queen. Then I just proceed with my idea. Doesn't get to take the pawn. So their option would be to back the queen up to b8 and maintain that threat. Of course, he could just take the knight. Knight takes knight is an option. Any tricky ideas like knight d5, pawn takes d5, pawn takes d5? Hmm. What about queen? No, that's knight. The knight's there. That is a no. No go. 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Okay. Can I abandon the bishop and go queen to f4? Knight takes bishop would result in mate, so he can't afford to take the bishop. He can block with the knight and attack the bishop. There's got to be something here. I am tempted to stack the exchange here and then bring the queen back, threatening. I'm going to do it. You only live once. 2 minutes and 59 seconds. I just sacked the exchange, already down the exchange. So let's see if we can't make this work. If pawn takes, he's attacking my knight. I'm going to bring the queen back and threaten mate. Bishop takes knight, eliminating the threat. Bishop takes bishop. Pawn takes knight. Bishop takes rook. No, I can't afford that. So he takes with this. Okay, he takes with the rook. Now I've got queen here. Two pieces guarding the back rank here. He brings the bishop back. And I bring the queen over. I might still run into my same problem of if queen h3, queen takes pawn, might be a significant problem. Bishop takes bishop, king takes. Knight takes pawn, king to e7. Rook's got this square, the queen's here. Well, bishop takes bishop now. King takes. I gotta move. I can't keep thinking. Bishop takes bishop now. If king takes, then knight takes pawn. Knight here. Knight takes pawn, king takes. Queen h5, king g7. Attack another piece. I don't think this attack is going to work out, but I gave it the old college try. Queen here, check. Protecting my pawn also. And then maybe knight here. No, because then the queen's going to hang if queen's going to hang. Just bring the queen back here and threaten to bring it here. Gotta move. Send knight back here. And then if I bring this knight, queen takes pawn. Looks pretty uncomfortable. So maybe I lift the f pawn and defend my e pawn. I've sacked too much material. But I just felt like something had to be in the air of that position. Black's pieces were just not coordinated well, and all his pieces were okay. That's effective. That is an effective. Just take my queen. But I don't want to take your queen because that would be disastrous. And that's even more disastrous for me. So good game. Let's see if this attack had any merit at all. No brilliancy, so it wasn't that solid. Let's see here. It doesn't like my bishop move, and it never likes my bishop move. I should learn to play a different line here. Castling was an error. And that was a blunder. Developing the knight was a blunder. Going from a dead equal to 1.7 advantage for black. I should have brought the rook into the game. Yeah, that was a blunder because it allowed this, and I didn't see it. I didn't see this skewer. Nice moves. Exclams all over the place here. And white has the edge here. Okay. So up to this point, well, black had an edge for a minute, but he gave it back. He should have given back the exchange, is basically what that's saying. What's black's best move here? Oh, well, yeah, I already found that. That's my best move, but what's black's best move instead of the rook? Attacking the bishop and just giving the exchange. And then the bishop gets to guard these dark square weaknesses without an opposing dark square bishop. That makes pretty good sense. Makes pretty good sense. Exclam. Pretty equal game here. And this was a mistake. 2.4. Don't bring the knight in. Take the knight. Pawn takes and then knight to b5. The queen leading the charge. Maybe. See that. It's a miss. Go on, dog. Go on. Did not like my knight sacrifice. Come on. Come on. Apologize. My dog really wanted to go outside. There does not appear to be any merit in this. And that's sacrificing 5.5. Yeah. Well, I'm going to study up on an attack, and I probably won't share it for a little while because I don't want to give away my tournament prep. Okay, well, thank you for watching. I'll try to give a better game next time. I played a questionable opening and middle game. Come back and watch some more chess.